Hello, 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 folks. It is July, that time of year again. Lovely to be here with you live or later through video. Good morning, Patricia. Paula. Hello, my friend. Nice to have you here. Oh, thanks, Paula. I like the shorter hair too. And yeah, the color is easier to work with. Hello, 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 everybody. The theme this month is power. Let me get my slides up here, or my notes to talk to you. Oh, hang on a minute. I just lost my screen. Pressed the wrong button. There we go. Hello, Yadira. Hello, Rosia. Yeah, nice. Kelowna. One day I'll visit you up there. Okay, let's get this. Okay, I'm really happy to be here with you as always. Let me pull up that. Hello. Yeah, I will explain a little bit about why the fire horse and fire goat are portals. And hello, Maria. Yeah. Actually, the short kind of answer to that is the whole year is actually a portal for lots. I'm not sure how advanced your knowledge is in Batsu. The tiger has a secret combination with the ox. If you know advanced Batsu, the hidden stems inside the tiger combine to the ox. And the what that's the last month of the year. The tiger is the first month of the year. The tiger month was the same as the year. The water tiger is also a portal, a spiritual pillar. So there's that happening. Also, the pig is like, there's so many layers to this. The horse and the goat, particularly, if you look at the Na Yin, they are both the milk. They are the water in the Milky Way, I believe it is. Yeah, the water in the Milky Way. Okay, that's the Na Yin, and they are the only two of the 60 Jiatsu whose Na Yin is not on Earth. The rest of the Na Yin sounds are tree in the woods, water in the brooks. This is water in the Milky Way, which is a portal to heaven. So, but particularly, it has to be fire goat and fire horse. So the two together, the sun and moon combination of the horse and goat, this is advanced stuff, guys. Sorry to jump right into this. The horse and goat are a sun and moon combination, which can transform to fire or earth. So the portal here is, because we're entering into fire, is if you use the energy to transform into fire, you're moving forward and ascending in vibration. If you don't do the opportunities and stuff that comes up, you are left with earth. And earth is the past, reincarnation, and all the energies to do with that. So I hope that answers your question in a brief way. Anyway, hello and welcome everybody, Iris and Carol, and just lovely to be here with you. Please say hello as you come on, and I appreciate that you support being here. So I wrote that I'm encouraged and excited for the future. I see in the midst of all this chaos and global disruptions, hope and new beginnings, right? And it's like, so first of all, too, hello, my name is Marlyna. I'm here in Vancouver, Canada. I know some of you later watching this on YouTube, and that will be new to me. I am for 30 years now a full-time Feng Shui practitioner and Chinese astrologer. But really, for my whole life, I've been someone who has studied many modalities of metaphysics. Hey, Jay and Yami, nice to meet you. And so the for the up until a couple of years ago, I just want to talk a little bit about how I'm shifting in how I use metaphysics. Okay. So I focused really specifically for a long time just on feng shui and astrology. But I'm seeing now with age 9 coming and different things, how important the human component is of that. And I talk about heaven, earth, and man all the time, but all the other spiritual realities, teachings that I follow, and different things talk about how our thoughts create our reality and how then our thoughts are reflected on the earth. And I see this all the time. And so for the longest time, I sort of thought if you change, there's books that say change your space, change your house. Hi, Carol and Adina. Lovely to see you guys, Jay. And so change your space, change your life. Yes. But if you change yourself, your space will change because your vibration changes. And this to me now is, you know that I'm bringing in more of those teachings with this, and it makes it simpler. A lot of stuff is really complicated. So now I'm integrating law of attraction, and I'm integrating body talk and past lives and different ways of looking at this as to why are we here, and looking at the existential questions, and really ultimately to raise our vibration so that life gets easier. Because when we raise our vibration, what does that actually mean? We go into okay, so manifesting happens at every single emotional level. So if you manifest from fear, really in some ways because you're afraid you don't have enough, or you're afraid they'll leave, or you're afraid, so many things we're afraid of, right? You're actually manifesting more things to be fearful of. So the work is also really important to bring up the blocks to look at where do these emotions come from and deal with them. And this is what we do in the Moon Group. And I've got 2 brand new classes I'm going to talk to you about, but one of them is absolutely brand new, Manifestation Magic, and I'll talk about that a little later. But it's like supporting us through ritual, daily activities, intention. I'm just seeing it differently, that the human being needs as much support as the house. Anyways, the theme for July is power. Why is the theme power? Because it's pure fire, and the goat is what we call a graveyard. We are in the fire goat mouth, and the goat is a graveyard. So what does that mean? We call it a graveyard. This does not mean literally be afraid, okay? But what it means is buried inside the goat energy is the past for everybody. And you can look at it from whether it's your 10 gods or your different things. Why do we need to understand the past? We need to understand the past because it actually is a clue as to where we are now, so that we can choose differently moving forward. So this fire right now, this is the fire that's happening. It's like, do you choose to be transformed? Do you choose to work through this energy? And here's the clue too. It's not going to be, whether you choose to use it for ascension or whether you use, however you use it, these fire months, and I actually think these next few years, in some ways, they're a bit painful because they're asking us, they're giving us, we signed up as souls to be here to transform our lives. Our parents used to do one job and one marriage and one this. We actually are doing many jobs and pivoting all the time. And it's a bit, what's going on. If you can be encouraged and excited and actually develop the mantra, I chose to be here now. That's empowering. I chose to be here now, and I choose to work with this. Well, how do we work with it? Well, we look to astrology and we look to feng shui. The universe is giving us clues all the time. And so my class is more and more moving forward for the next few months, particularly because I think the next few months of this year are going to be a bit, inflation is on the rise. There's all these things going on. I'm going to focus on how to give you your power back. And if you're someone who's willing to be in that place where it's uncomfortable, where you look at the blocks and where you're, willing to do some steps, then I ask you we offer you the full moon group. Okay, we offer you the full moon group, and we offer you these monthly conversations. But now there's a new class called Manifestation Magic. Like wherever level you're at, you can start practicing stepping into your power. And the reason why I'm focusing now on daily activities or things like that is because we want to create new neural pathways. And the new neural pathways, like all of us have neural pathways, which are kind of like the roadways our brain thinks. And all of us are born, even with certain ones and belief patterns that we're stuck in, if you will. And so the, thanks, Lois, the neural pathway that I was born with due to my circumstances was I am not enough. And so that's a deeply subconscious pattern. And if I do past life regressions or things, I can see that that's been there a long time. I'm choosing to change that. And I'm choosing, how do I help change that too? I step into my power more and more when I help you be more powerful. And so this is what we're doing. So, anyways, here's the thing with the fire of this month, the opportunity. If you're willing to look at your shadow, if you're willing to do the work, and gosh, okay, so many of my clients are experiencing really hard things, whether it's health issues, family issues, work issues, that we're all sort of feeling the shadows and being called. Are you allowing the fire of transformation to burn away your old world? Okay, I want you to almost write that down if you could. Allow the fire of transformation to burn away your old world. How do you step into power with that? You don't resist it. And that's somewhere in the back of your mind. Actually, and part of this, which is important for this to work and to be, why am I encouraged? Because I'm remembering more and more and more, I'm part of Source. I'm actually not alone. There, I am not just this personality. I am connected to a larger force out there than I can even imagine that just wants to support me. And if I let it and I work with it, it does. Okay. And so this is what I'm willing to burn away the old beliefs to step into the new ones. There is no way to change your life without doing inner work. There's no way. Okay. So, can you work with that? Right. And this is just, that's why I've started more community stuff between this one and we do the moon group. And Lois has posted the link here. So please sign up for the next moon meditation. And my whole thing about Together We Are More. And the moon meditation is free, guys, right? So invite your friends and come to that. Yeah, allow the world, the fire to burn away the old beliefs and step into what do you want to be rebirthed at? I've been talking about this for months. And yes, I'm going to get to the predictions shortly. But the predictions become then each month a different energy comes up in the world. This month it's fire goat, no matter what astrology system you look at. And the year has an energy. When you look or know what that energy represents to you, you can work with it. So I'm just giving you brief things here. But my readings these days go into depth as to what are your karmic lessons, right? What are your karmic lessons? And we can see in the chart what are your karmic lessons. They're clues to the inner work. Is it a mother issue? Is it a father issue? Is it a power issue? And these can be seen. I know many of you here are practitioners when you understand the 10 gods. Okay. So the theme for July is power. What is your relationship? Oh, actually, before I just go into that, the full moon one, I'm really, really excited about this next full moon meditation. Okay. So for those of you who haven't been there, it's an hour and a half long. My friend, the world famous Sonia Picard, who is an artist of adornment. She does jewelry, and one of the coolest jewelry pieces that she does, all her jewelry is intentional jewelry, meaning it has vibrational words, meditations, and different things in it based on she uses the Southeast Asian gods, So we're looking at Lakshmi on Wednesday, and she's going to guide us into meditations and insights of abundance and how to use jewelry and adornment how that has actually been used for centuries as a tool for raising your vibration. So how cool is that, right? So each month we meet to learn more about vibration, tools we can use, plus then there's a sound bath. And why are sound baths so important? Because everything is the sound. Like we were talking about the na yin, right? The na yin is also a sound. And in our body are stuck blockages that sound can jiggle out and bring to the surface. Yeah, thank you. Yuko is really doing a beautiful job with the sound healings. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, thanks, Lisa. Sonia's a good friend to all of ours. Like my Om earrings here are from her, and I'll make sure for sure on Wednesday night I'm wearing a lot of her stuff. Yeah, thanks. Okay, so the theme is power. So I love astrology. You guys who know me know I love astrology. Why do I love astrology? Because it's a guide. It's just a guide. Like it's a guide to like I was a gardener. I still am in many ways. You see behind me always plants. It's a guide to what is the season, what are the expectations, and how do I work with it, right? And so astrology to me is just really similar. So Chinese astrology, particularly because it's rooted in five elements and the I Ching and hexagrams, really speaks to me. And I'll be doing more classes on that throughout the year. So I'm going to talk a little bit about what the fire goat is, because obviously it's like fire. We're in the last month of summer. It is a graveyard animal. So because it's a graveyard animal, expect shadows to be revealed. So it's a great month to do meditation. It's a great month to go deeper into that. The hexagrams are actually poison and retreat. And so I'll talk about that in a second. The best use of metaphysics is to look at the past, okay, and understand where like how the patterns affected you. And then from that, we create a new future because everything here on Earth moves in patterns. The sun and the moon moves in a pattern. The planets in the sky move in a pattern. And energy moves in patterns. And the ancients understood that. When we work with it, we can actually make guesses, if you will, about the future. We are conscious beings. So, whereas a flower in the garden can only respond to the light and to the temperature and to the different things, we actually have free will. And so we can work with it differently. And this is so important. This is actually, I think, the power that is awakening in everybody as we go into period 9. Because what it is telling us is because we are conscious, can choose the direction our boat sails in. We don't just, and that's the difference between destiny and fate. Fate is you just wait, right? Oh, winter's coming. Okay, can't do much. Gotta, slow down. Whereas if in metaphysics with a consciousness, it's water and it's going to be whatever water is to you. It is darker days. Yes, it is meant to be a time where we regroup. How can I work with these? So these specific manifestation magic class that's coming up, it'll be, so I did a law of attraction class last week, which was lots of fun. And from that, I realized people need more help with doing the rituals, with working on the things and creating support. And so this class, what I'm going to do is every season of metal, water, wood, and fire, we're going to meet once a month on Sundays for an hour and a half. And I'm going to teach you how, first of all, how to come up with a good goal. And then secondly, what kind of rituals, space clearing, like what kind of rituals can you do to do it? And when a group of people get together to consciously work together on intentions, the force is exponential. Okay. And so this is what I'm wanting now to work with people in as we do. And it's Lois is going to put up the link. There's the link. It's very affordable. And the whole idea is by doing that, whether you're there live or in person, is that we actually start doing everyday conscious actions. And so it's a commitment type of thing, which I think for some people is the hardest thing to put into practice. Okay, so that's one of the things that's coming up. Anyways, the energy of the fire goat is the same as 2027. Okay, and by 2027, we will be firmly into period 9. So there's lots of talk in the Feng Shui world about period 9. Period 9 is also fire, right? It's a trigram. There are different cycles of time that we look at in metaphysics, but period 9 is one of them. And because we're entering into fire, for sure, period 9 comes, it's already started due to in 1997 is kind of the beginning, and it'll be here officially in 2024. But what that means is that it's kind of like saying the age of Aquarius is coming. There's a shift happening in the world, and we see it. And one of the reasons why I'm so excited, even though I see all this chaos out there, because I'm seeing more and more people be honestly curious and willing to step into their power. to speak their truth, to get out there and to be a difference, to become kinder, to work on themselves. I am seeing more consciousness. I am seeing people wake up, and that is so exciting, right? That is so exciting. That whole process of seeing people I don't know come up, like younger people particularly, reading more spiritual books or asking existential questions or starting to question, like just even going more organic. I'm seeing people do that, and I'm applauding it, and I'm going to help lead the way so that we have more of that. And I ask you to join me. So, yes, I spoke up already at the beginning about the horse and goat months of summer have a special relationship called the sun and the moon, right? They can transform to either fire or earth. So, this month, particularly, okay, because the earth is the past and the fire is the future. Okay, what are you ready to create a new story? And if you're ready to create a new story, it's fire, guys. So it's going to be a little bit painful. Okay, are you willing to work with that? Okay, so otherwise we stay embedded. Now, part of that is do more. If you journaled every day this next month about what you're feeling and what you'd like to change, that'll already be a process. So if you are someone that has been embracing changes in the past already, this next month should be pretty good for you. But if you have not been embracing the changes that you thought you've been thinking about, more of them will come up as opportunities. So now we have a choice. Do you look at the opportunity as do you look at the opportunity as being a victim? Oh, I don't want this. Here's the truth. Everything that happens to you, you signed up for. That's how energy works. You're here. How do we change it? By taking responsibility for it. That's what's happening is we're starting to see how we created all this. So earth is worry. Earth can be fear too, like holding us back. But earth can also be trust, the positive energy of earth. So as the different situations come up this month, let's look at that and choose to feel trust at the same time as the fear. And even though fire can be love or hate, choose to be open to love coming your way and choose to maybe ignore the resistance of the hate feelings that come up. I don't like this situation. Just start working because your emotions are going to be bigger. This month is a month where your emotions are going to be bigger. And the opportunity is how do you react differently? And remember, what kind of world do you want to live in? Be that person. So 2022, let's just recap the year of the water tiger a little bit, right? Because it's been unstable. We talked about that it would be that way. Stormy, economic instability, there's inflation. I talked about how products without real value are in trouble, Bitcoin, different people are having resource issues. Like all these things are happening. So why is that helpful to know? Well, because it's just a cycle and this too shall pass, but we still got 6 months left. All right, we're halfway through the year. So the first part of the year, this goat month will be the last month of the first half of the year. So the first 3 months are wood, the next 3 months are fire, and now we're going into metal and water. And so in September, I'm going to have a class, Rise Up and Finish Strong, which will be specifically how to work with the last months of this year to finish with the best outcome possible. Okay. So what kind of tiger? So imagine this is the year of the water tiger. Okay. This is the year of the water tiger. So there's this tiger out there, and this tiger influence is there for all of us to capture, if you will. What kind of tiger do you want to be? Do you want to be like, stuck in the zoo, so to speak, where you're captured and you have no freedom? Or do you want to be the one that's in the forest walking wildly, right? Like in this jungle. That comes also with, though, a responsibility, right? And so the energy this year is really so much one where it won't happen again for another 180 years. Between the water tiger having the special day in February 18th that we had, and that the 5 is in the center this year, it just means that the portals this year, if you will, are such that the secrets of the universe are being revealed. Okay, what are the secrets of the universe? They're the subconscious beliefs that block you from your best destiny, right? It's learning how to walk with power, learning how to walk and live with power. So we can all do that, okay? So the opportunities are to connect to power and energy. Every month this year is good. The next 2 months, I think, are particularly probably the strongest two that are coming up between the goat and then the monkey, which is the clash to the tiger, okay? So now let's look a little bit individually at each day, Master. I'm going to do that. But I want to say this, if your thoughts are the only thing you have real conscious control over, remember this, you cannot create what you cannot imagine, okay? We always create what we do imagine. And this is actually where the real power is coming. So, are you all day imagining that you might catch COVID, that the government's after your money, that this person isn't going to pay you back, or I don't know, like, what are you imagining every day? And do you have enough ability to control your thoughts and mind that you can imagine a future that you love? And this takes work. This is actually metaphysics. This is the work. So, imagine good things. Lesson ended, but it's like, imagine good things. All right. So this month, there's a few special stars for the month that are supporting us all, and they're monthly virtue, sky happiness, and national treasure. And basically, what that means this month, even though it's fire and transformation, there are some very positive stars supporting us all to have better relationships. Okay, so go deal with the people that you need to talk to make amends, right? It means that there's kind of there's a invisible hand guiding you to be more correct in what you say. The energy of this month is good for trust building, right? Repairing relationships that need new trust. Where does that start? With forgiveness. You forgive yourself and you forgive them, right? So this is a very good energy this month to work on that. The image, if you will, of the fire goat is also an image of the stars shining in a desert, right? And so in a bit, the desert is also a metaphor for all buried secrets. So again, it's like, oh, okay, the stars are shining and over the sand, what's buried in the sand that we can access? So yeah, finding your power. What is your relationship to true power? Fire can destroy or warm, love or hate. This is a chance to become depressed or to feel your anxiety and depression and to step into your power, to say the things that you've been meaning to say, right? The pillar of fire goat is associated with bringing people together. It is also a pillar of pure fire, like a torch burning, if you will. What does a torch burning do? It lights the fire in the oven. It lights the heat that keeps the house warm. So the image is as well, or the metaphor is that the energy here is it brings people together, right? Over food. So this is a good month to meet and connect with people and to bring people together. Nobody needs to be alone, okay? The hexagrams are poison and what's the other one? Retreat. Remove and cleanse. So they're always a bit cryptic. Remove and cleanse before you proceed. Remove what you have swept under the carpet. Okay, so the hexagrams give us guidance as well. Okay, so what have you swept under the carpet that you might need to talk about, right? Invest in self-improvement and be honest. Don't hide or ignore problems. So, and retreat. So retreat actually, it's like how does poison remove and cleanse before you proceed and retreat? Well, it's like discover your strength and weaknesses, prepare a new plan, avoid bad company, take care of your family, and don't expect anything in return. This is a month where you learn how to give unconditionally. Okay? So, have you noticed I've noticed that there's a big shift in consciousness happening between many, many people doing plant spirit medicine, people leaving the countries, changing jobs. Several people I know have done medical assisted dying in the last few weeks. Many are unhappy and fearful. The answer really here again with power is, are you the problem or are you the solution? And you know what, at the heart, at the end of this whole thing, do you choose to live? What's happening with this power energy is the birth of leadership. Are you a leader in your own life, right? So one of the biggest things I'm seeing happening is people are finding out how powerful a manifester they are, and they're choosing to manifest that life for themselves. And so my first taste with this was over, gosh, probably around 1995, and I was actually in San Antonio, and I was doing some spiritual growth work and with a deity, if you will, called Cryon, who Lee Carroll channeled a lot of books about Cryon, and Cryon gave some very, very interesting messages from the other side, if you will. And one of the things he said is that the karmic of this time, because 1995, right, 2000 was a huge astrological shift happening as well with the portals, if you will. Like really, I would say a lot of the changes that are happening now already sort of started happening then in the shift of reality. But what he said, what I read then was, we can change our karma anytime, so to speak. Karma is just a choice by releasing the past and saying, I choose a new future. I choose a new future. And I remember clearly sitting at a table in San Antonio there along the water and just thinking, okay, I am ready to release all the patterns that don't serve me. I'm ready to release all the energy. The curtains are applauding. I'm ready to release relationships that don't work. I'm ready to release I'm not worthy. I'm ready to release all these different things, and I'm ready to step into my power and change my beliefs that you can be powerful and be loved, right? And I wanted to release shame and guilt. And so that really, I can remember the moment and I can remember the energy starting to shift and change. And so you can do that too. This is one of those months where we can do it. It's like, what are you ready to release? And join us, please, at the meditation, the moon meditation, where each of these events are actually geared to help you through that process. All right, so now I'm going to talk about the 10-day masters and the energy of the month. Okay, so for this, you need to know your chart. And I think most of you here do. And most of you here do. Know your day master. So we're going to start with Yang wood. So how do you know what your day master is? It's the top part of the day. There are 5 elements: wood, fire, earth, metal, and water, and you can be yang or yin of each of those, okay? So this is a little bit more 10 gods related, but each month, if you are a wood day master, okay, there's yang wood and yin wood, how you relate to the energy of fire goat is slightly different for each of them, right? But both of you have output and wealth elements, the wood elements, okay? For yang wood, the messages be reliable, okay? Because you have what's called herding officer there. And herding officer tends to come with a bit of a reputation for being a show off, okay? For being a show off and for actually even arrogance and wanting to a little bit, it's all about me. That can work for you, but this is now combined this month with direct wealth. So what that means, there's a tendency to overpromise and overdeliver rather than be consistent. If you want to have good results, and most of these readings, guys, are particularly geared around money or more opportunities that way. But I would say even for Yangwood, wealth is an element that is about control. So the energy this month is you could have more control in your life. And so, and you are going to be seen for what you say and do. All right. So Yang would allow people to see you're reliable. Okay. That's important here. All right. And so allow people to see you're reliable and then maybe take control in a different area of your life, whether it's about money or different things of something that you're hoping to achieve. Whereas Yin wood has a more favorable combination happening around solutions and making money this month. Don't overthink. There's a tendency to overplan and overthink here. So set timelines, okay? Because there's a real opportunity as well. If you're looking for a raise, great month to get a raise, get a promotion, or those types of things. But check if you have an idea that you're wondering, should I bring it to the market? This is a really good month to ask people for help, to come up with a plan, and to start, putting that together. Don't overthink again, but yeah, definitely a really good month to bring your ideas out. Okay, yang fire and yin fire. Okay, so the fire elements this month have, because there's fire, have what's called Rob Wealth and Friend happening there. Okay, so which means the same element is there. And to a degree, to just say that's good or bad is not just enough to do that here. Okay, it's more that you strategically use people because there's lots of people around you, if you will, competing with you. Okay, so for Yang Fire, it's called Rob Wealth and Hurting Officer. Those are the energies of this month. Please, they say it's not a favorable combo, but I actually think everything has opportunities in it, right? Everything is that, I love the saying, nothing happens to you, everything happens for you. Okay, so there's a tendency to be a little bit reactive this month, Yang Fire, okay? Meaning that you get a bit pissy with people or things like that, because it's just that the hurting officer could come out and hurt you, if you will. But if you're able to be seen as a solution, you should be able to build your network. And it's like, what do you want to show off is the question, because you're going to be seen as showing off. So strategically use that to be seen as an expert, right? So increase your visibility for sure, and watch your emotions along the way. Yin fire, on the other hand, though, has what's called friend and eating god, which is again the same element in a different polarity and output, but these two are much more friendly in nature. So there won't be that aggressive type of angst that Yang fire is going to have this month. Yin fire, people will admire you, is kind of what's going to happen. People will admire you. So there's a real opportunity here to be admired. What do you want to be admired for? So, you know what? Metaphysics really does need a goal. So this is the thing too about signing up for the class with the manifestation magic. Because you know what my biggest thing that I see people have an issue with is you don't know what you want. You struggle actually. And I said this the other day in a class too. How many of you, like, really seriously, how many of you, particularly you women, can imagine making $200,000 a year? How many of you can imagine making $200,000 a year? Because if you can't imagine it, how are you going to manifest it, right? How many of you can imagine having really good support in your life, right? And so part of this, it's like every month opportunities come, and stepping into your power is stretching into a new level of deserving, okay? So create support for yourself this month. Yin fire is definitely the opportunity there for you. And so because you are being seen for your success, right? People will be admiring you. Fine tune who you are. What do you want to be seen for? Do you have a vision statement? Do you have a personal brand? I remember years ago being in one of my, probably 20 years ago, one of my first classes with Joey App. And he said, "What's your brand?" And he said, "If you show up late for everything, that's your brand." And he said, "What you actually do is your brand." You could say, "Oh, I have a brand. I'm a master. I'm a this and I'm a that." But it's actually what you do every day. That's your brand. So are they in alignment with your thoughts? Right? This is the month for Yin Fire particularly, to work on a mission and vision statement and to step into that a bit. All right, so now we go to Earth Day Masters. Okay, so Yang Earth and Yin Earth both have resource element happening, which is support. And so it's a little bit different for Yang and Yin. And then there's what we call Rob Wealth and Friend element happening. Now, to a degree, for that to be beneficial, we need to know whether you are a weak or strong day master. Okay, this is true for all of you. How the elements interact with us is really depends on what we call if you're strong or weak. Okay, but for earth people particularly, it's like the energy there is resource. Now, whether fire is favorable for you or not, the opportunity to improve what supports you is there, okay, for earth people. So what does that mean? Improve what supports you. Well, improve your computer, improve your home, get a cleaner, improve the food you eat, improve your life. Okay, so resource is about go to school, get more knowledge, like reprove. However, it's very interesting. Both the resource elements are coming with what we call the friend element. So for Yang Earth people, there are some people trying to get competing with you, if you will, for what you know. There are people competing with you for what you know. Now, this can feel like a threat, or this can feel like, oh, I have information that they want. Okay, that will cost you this much. Step into the power. You take control of that before they take control of it for you, right? So don't bring people together to that. Hang on a minute. Okay, so there's a tendency to procrastinate because you're comparing yourself too much to other people. I'm not this enough, I'm not that enough, I'm not blah blah blah. But I'm saying now do this and stop comparing. How are you different? Do you need to acquire skills? That's resource, right? And rob wealth is only bad if you respond to it in a bad manner, meaning that, well, one thing that could happen is you spend money, irresponsibly or something. But the other part is you just use your strength to see rob wealth has a real opportunity for what their skill is they see opportunities. The thing is, though, you're not the only one seeing the opportunity. Imagine every time you see an opportunity, there's 3 or 4 people who see the same opportunity. That's okay. Are you willing to just grab it, so to speak? Okay. So Earth, that's Yang Earth, right? Discover your hidden talent, if you will, and make it better and get known for that. Yin Earth, on the other hand, because indirect resources there, is your intuition is going to be higher. So if your intuition is higher, that could be it could be that your instincts are stronger, or also what can happen. What happens if your instincts get too strong and it's intuition? You become suspicious, you become paranoid. So it's like the best way to actually deal with that is to talk, to share what you know. So you have now intuition with the friend element. What that actually means is this month is a month for you to share your information and just trust your intuition. Okay, just trust your intuition. Now, why would this be a problem or where can it be a problem? Are you someone who doesn't trust sharing? Well, if you don't trust sharing, what kind of law of attraction do you have? Oh, they don't trust me. I have trouble getting what I want. The thing here is to actually trust, share, and you will get more of it. The thing here is to be a friend and to be generous. Okay, metal. Metal is has influence element. Okay, so the fire melts the metal, whether you're a yang metal or yin metal, and it comes with resource element, which is supportive. Now, influence can be about rules and regulation. So for yang metal, it's proper rules and regulation. Okay. Now, that can be, do you have a good foundation of beliefs supporting you? All right. And that it's a foundation. Rules are meant to give you structure. Okay. So be structured this month for Yang Metal. Direct officer and direct resource, by the way, are considered 2 of the more favorable 10 gods or energies. So you've got these energies, and fire is supposed to form metal into a sword to be better. So you should have a good month if you follow through your details and you produce high quality work and you don't forget the fundamentals. Okay, that you see, direct officer is about all the proper procedures are followed to get the results. Don't be hasty. Whereas with yin metal, it's a bit more hectic, even though it's influence element as well. 7 killings, they call it, with yin metal can feel Too many people telling you what to do this month, especially with indirect resource. So now you have a bit of suspicious attitude, intuition happening with, yeah, somebody's telling me what to do. Now, you can turn that around and become the leader who takes 7 killings and takes a chance to be seen as a leader, right? And so get out of your comfort zone. 7 killings is a good energy to get out of your comfort zone, but there could probably, for yin metal particularly, there could be the reaction is you don't always like getting out of your comfort zone. It'll feel uncomfortable, but it will give courage this month to have courage, some steps forward in making life better. Be a specialist, broaden your field. All right, the last two, water, yang water and yin water. So yang water and yin water have the wealth element and the influence element. Okay, so for yang water particularly, this is a very good month to steer your boat in the specific direction of what the next 6 months be, right? It's a very good month to set a target and meet your target. Direct was control, direct officers influence, the two together. This is what I'm going to go do it. You should have the ability to go do it. Very, very good month for you to do that. Take disciplined action. Whereas yin water also has wealth element with 7 killings, but in this one, it becomes a gambling combination. So there is the potential for sudden windfalls, but I think for that to happen, well, this could be, if you're in sales, send out lots of emails. If you know how to do the date selection stuff, like I'm going to give you a few dates at the end, use good dates, understand how to use the calendar, but you should have breakthroughs in reaching things outside. Yay is right. You should have breakthroughs in being able to see opportunities to take advantage of, right? And so, yeah. Now, the risk though is don't make uncalculated risks. You're going to feel like what's a gambling, right? Don't gamble everything, right? But it's a very good month to take a calculated move on situations. Yes. So that's the 10 day masters, just with the energies of fire goat. Okay. The animals to me, okay, it's the month of the goat. The best friend to the goat is the horse. Okay. So the horse automatically then has this portal. Okay. Everything is a portal, but the portal is open for the horse to have opportunities, right? Because it's one of the combinations. Two other animals that combine with the goat are rabbit and pig. Okay. Now they all combine. Many of you here, right? You guys know how to read the combinations in relationship to the day master. What they combine to, you still have to know ultimately, is it a favorable God or not? But I'm still saying it's an opportunity, okay? So the horse, the rabbit, and the pig have opportunities this month. One of the biggest things that happens for people is they're not ready to say yes. They're not ready. I have said many times to people in readings, especially ahead of time, when you see down the road next year, it's like, wow, next year what if I said to you, next year the opportunity of your life is coming, but it's not in this city. Are you ready to move? And you'd be surprised, like, oh, I have to finish my house. Oh my, this and that. Oh my, it's like, what if that is the one biggest opportunity of your life that's got, oh, I don't know, like I have to wait and see, whatever, right? When I tell you that you have an opportunity to do, you have to say yes. Even if it's just, okay, I'll go hear what the opportunity is, or, so if you're seeing something online or you have a chance to talk to people, learn how to say, you don't have to say yes 100% to the opportunity, but learn how to have a conversation about what does that look like, research it, what are my potentials, right? Now, the ox has a clash. Okay, so the ox animal has a clash. So the ox clashing with the goat, if you have ox anywhere in your chart, but the ox clashes, that means that what's hidden in the branches is going to come up to be seen. So expect this month something unexpected to happen. That can for sure happen. So something unexpected. Now, some of the classics will talk about how do you get ahead of that? You get ahead of that by you might know, like, so for instance, in a clash month, it's a good month to start a diet. My teacher would say, make yourself suffer, right? Because what's happening is clash happens. What gets revealed is what needs to be changed. So maybe it's a good month to quit drinking or to go on a diet or to make a change at work or to start walking more. Like create the clash. So I'll often say, if you had a car accident, what happens after the car accident? You have to rest. You generally have to start taking vitamins. You start having to do physio, all these things to be healthier. Well, what if you did all the things to be healthier without the car accident or without the problem? So wherever it is in your chart, if you have ox on your day and you're married, work on your relationship. What needs to be changed? If you have ox in the month, work on your work or your career or your parents. If it's in the hour, what in your assets or with your staff or your children do you need to work on? Okay. And then the last one, I'm not going to talk about all the animals, but I'm going to talk about the dog and the goat with the ox have what's called a bully penalty. Okay, so the bully penalty. So the bully penalty, they will gets translated as sort of you're being pressured to do something you don't want to do. You're being pressured to do something you don't want to do. So that can show up in many different ways. However, here's the thing, and I started off the talk with this. All changes in a chart are just indications of what we need to work on. It's not personal, right? They're things, and where inside you are you a bully? Because our thoughts are creating our reality to a huge degree. So, are you a bully to yourself with the thoughts that you say to yourself? Do you put pressure on other people to perform a certain way around you? Like, where are you a bully? Because if things come up that show you that you don't like, the question actually is always to ask yourself, how did I create this? So, the more challenging aspects that we deal with actually give us opportunities to look at what we need to change in our personal lives. All right. And so past that, really ideally to know how the 12 animals react to your chart, you need to have a reading. Okay. And so let's talk about Feng Shui a little bit. So another big change that I'm talking about, I'm going to give you some dates and the Feng Shui. This is flying stars. Okay. The forms 70% of the energy of any home is created by the environment. Okay, so we can talk about the flying stars, but to know whether the 3 or the 4 or the 5, there's 9 numbers, and each number represents an element, and each element interacts with our gua in a different way. So, yes, there's one size fits all rooms in the house that are generally good, but know with that too, there's always exceptions to the rule because each quadrant is an animal as well. It is an element, and they interact with us individually as well. So, for instance, I don't need a lot more metal, and yet the rooster is a favorable energy this year. So, if I'm activating the rooster in the west, I'm also activating the metal. Okay. Now, each of the 9 stars have there's a lot of fear in the metaphysical world. A lot of people initially come to metaphysics with fear. I want to change that. Okay. I'm not going to talk about the sickness star or the calamity star or the misfortune star. Okay. Like, because they're actually just all energy. There is no good or bad energy. They all have cause and effect. And as you guys study, know certain signs can handle them all differently. Okay. So please, especially those of you who are a practitioner, let's stop putting fear into the world and start talking about being empowered. So, for instance, the 3 star, which is in the east, is called the argument star. Okay. But it is really the star of negotiation. If you don't know how to negotiate, you are someone that has arguments in your life. And if you don't want arguments, learn negotiation. So I use all the different stars depending on what I'm working with. The 2, they call the 2 the sickness star, but it is actually the stagnation star, but it is Earth star. It is one of the major wealth stars. And now as we go, its timeliness is changing. It is much more favorable. So all the stars have possibilities. The only one that I'm a bit careful with, if you don't know how to use it, really, is the 5. Okay. So, and we have to, you can't just say, don't use the Southwest. If you have a beautiful forms outside in the Southwest, the 2's good qualities will come out. So every month, there are yearly stars, just like you have an astrology chart. There's yearly stars, there's monthly stars, and there's the chart space itself. To me, I think the best locations this month, just in a one size fits all, if you will, is the Northeast. Okay, there's a combination there with 8 and 9. That's a very nice combination. The South has a combo 10 with a 9 and 1. So that's also very good. And I actually also, the West has the monthly 8 in it, and the East has monthly 4. So those are all very neutral energetic places. But I don't want you to be afraid about using any energies, okay? If you activate what's called the 5, it activates for you your lessons. And this year, because the 5's home is at its home base the whole year, I think the lessons are not as brutal, okay? And they really, especially for those who are giving intention to elevate their lives, right? So anyway, I'm using the Northeast and I'm using the South more. And I just make sure for myself and my home that there's a really good chi flow between all those different sectors. I do have 4 activations for you. Okay, I have 4 specific activations. Okay, so activations are, so I want to clarify, first of all, if you don't have a goal, don't bother doing an activation. Okay, so I'm going to tell you what they're for, but if, if you, do you have an action efforts like with sending out an email or, different things? I mean, in the meantime, whatever your GUA number is you can all activate your own GUA palace, your yearly animal. We can activate the house to have more clarity and these types of things. These activations are not for that. The first one, okay, so because it is the fire month and because we're entering into period 9, if you are interested in activating, if you will, the ability to transform to a higher vibration, July 17th is a metal goat day, which is a graveyard in a graveyard month. So that the secrets, if you will, that need to be released and transformed. Now, secrets could be just faulty beliefs, okay? So July 17th at 11:39 a.m., for me, these activations are all water. So water with a pump. I just do them for 2 hours, okay? A large Rubbermaid container with a pump in it so that the surface of, this is like acupuncture. I also get acupuncture in my body every week. July 17th to activate your intentions to align with period 9 and to release what needs to be released. 11:39 in South 1, 165 degrees. Okay. And the July 21st to activate for wealth luck. Okay, so that, but again, do you have a plan, right? Like, and South 1 again at 7:30 a.m. And I just leave the water for 2 hours, right? And then I move it. Okay, and then I remove it. July 22nd to solve problems. Okay, now this one doesn't necessarily need to be water, but it could be water. And you can have the water set up and ready to go and then wake up because this is at midnight, the first midnight. Okay, so South 1 at midnight. And leave it on for 2 hours. But you could also get up and meditate, right? So this is fire rat, and I'm making all this simpler. If you know how to face a good direction or face different things, do. If you know which chi man god you want to sit and face, do. But I don't think it matters. All right. If you have actual intention of what to solve problems and then you meditate and write about it, you could light a candle. Okay, July 22nd. And then July 25th is a water activation at East 2 in the Rabbit. And now part of what we're doing there is we're activating the East is a very, very important sector. So most motivations moving forward are in the East and South in a house because the South is period 9, it's Gua 9, and East is the Shang-Chi direction for period 9. So also just activating that energy in our homes so that our homes have more vibrant energy with opportunities. So I would say at 3 a.m. you can do it for 2 hours, or you can do it 11 a.m. for a couple hours. Okay. So 3 a.m. or 11 a.m. The earlier one is better. All right. So yeah, what's your relationship to power? It's interesting, right? It's like I have sometimes a knee-jerk reaction when people say, "You're not the boss of me. I have to figure this out for myself. I'm not." It's like I realized afterwards, wow, that was an opportunity that I missed because I wasn't ready to say yes right then, right? And that's also part of learning how to develop your intuition, which is what we're going to be doing in the manifestation magic class, right? Like every month that I'm going to sit there and give you insights and homework and then rituals, and not to worry if you miss a step, because that actually I expect you to miss a step, because this is part of then going, oh, I have to put in extra effort here because I have a tendency to blow that off, right? And so yeah, my wish for you in this next month and year is one where you wake up and realize your highest potential, your fullest potential, right? That you step into your power. May the healing power of grace give you courage and healing. May your angels help you to stop running away from your fears and support you to step into your power. And may your guides guide you in the opportunities waiting for you to activate the life of your desires. So yeah, manifestation magic. Thanks, Lois, for putting that up. And also, I'm just going to say is that you're going to be getting an email shortly about special readings that I'm going to be offering the rest of the summer, where as an addition to the reading, where now I'm really focusing a lot on, well, as what are your past life, like what did you get born with? What is not just your karma, what what issues did you bring with you that you can look at to work on? So that might be which chakras are blocked, but also which parent in the family, and give you some direction as what to look. And I'm going to give you specific activation dates for your own chart and home and help you with your house on that. And so I'm adding that to the readings for the summer. And then, yes, rise up and finish strong in September, right? So there's still 6 months left to this year. And it's like, how do we each month work with that to a deeper level? And with our work and careers and what kind of things are happening, we'll look at the hexagrams, we'll look at all that stuff. So are there any questions? Oh, the date for the last one in the East. That's July 25th. Yeah, July 25th, it's 75 degrees east 2. And with these specific activations, I don't worry if they clash with you. Yes, there will be less of an effect, and yes, perhaps, but doesn't mean don't do it. Don't do it. Let's take the fear out of metaphysics. Let's empower ourselves to be and do better. So thank you very much, all of you, for joining me, and I hope you have a lovely weekend, the rest of the weekend. And I will talk to you. The purpose of the East to activate, yeah, okay. To activate okay, to activate positive energy, put it that way. Okay, like to activate the positive sectors. There are the East and the South. I mean, here's a tip for period 9, guys. Those two sectors, East and South, are two very important sectors, period 9 coming up. So any house you have, hopefully, has South and East with pretty good feng shui, windows and doors and those types of things. Yeah, mid-year review. Thanks, Lois. Yeah, you're so welcome, Annette. Great to see you. You're so welcome, Jay. Yeah, and Jay, I'm gonna look at my emails. Yeah, Yadira, thank you. Another month. Lots of things going on. All right, I'm out of here. We'll talk to you again soon. Bye bye.